You have been listening to the A section of I Got Rhythm, played in the Freddie Green style of rhythm guitar. Hello, I'm Mike Hayes and welcome to Jazz Guitar Chord Melody, Part 66. In this session, we'll be continuing our work on the I Got Rhythm project. That is, learning the basic set of chords and their main variations for I Got Rhythm. And it's a very important piece of music to know and study, because alongside knowing how to play the blues and its many variations will stand you in good stead as a jazz guitarist, no matter what style you're playing. There's a real art to playing rhythm guitar, and there's certainly a lot more to it than grabbing a big, lumpy, out-of-balance chord shape and strumming away on it. A good rhythm guitarist must know how to use guide tones to link the changes together for both rhythm and comping. They must know how to select chord inversions that are compatible with the movement of the bass. They must know how to use extended chords to help the not-so-inventive soloist. And they also must know which notes to leave out in order to give maximum freedom to the inventive soloist. Plus a whole lot more. In this lesson, we'll be focusing on one of those very important skills to learn as a rhythm guitarist, and that is how to play two-note chords in the Freddie Green style. Essentially, these chords are what we call shell voicings. The chords usually contain the third and seventh, although not always. In fact, sometimes Freddie Green would play just one note, but that note was the important note that linked the chords together in the particular arrangement. We'll be playing these chords exclusively on the third and fourth strings. Now, just before we get into the playing side of things, if you don't know who Freddie Green is, make sure you have a listen to an album called Rhythm Willie. It features Freddie Green on acoustic rhythm, Herb Ellis on electric guitar, Ray Brown on bass, Ross Tompkins on piano, and Jake Hanna on drums. And the playing on this album is as good as it gets. Have a listen to how the rhythm guitar works with the bass, the piano, and the drums. Okay, over to our I Got Rhythm chart, and we're going to work through the whole chart. Keep your ear out for the Sears Roebuck Bridge. This chart features the basic set of chord changes, so we need to know how to play these chords and we need to know how they sound. Here we go. Okay, well, as you can see, not every one of these shell voicings contains a third and seventh. Let's take the C6 chord for an example. In this instance, our shell voicing contained a third and a sixth. Now, earlier in the video, I made reference to big, lumpy, out of balance guitar chords. Now, what did I mean by that? Well, let's take a G major bar chord for example. Now, if we have a look at what's going on under our fingers there, we'll notice that we have 3 G notes, that's 3 root notes, 2 Ds, that's 2 fifths, and 1 third. And as you know, the one note that determines whether the chord is a major or a minor is the third. And in this instance, that would be the note B. And this is what I mean by an out of balance chord. The one note that determines whether it's major or minor is outnumbered by the root note and the fifth. In contrast with this type of bar chord shape, our shell voicings feature a very lean, stripped back chord where each note can make an equal impression on the listener's ear. Okay, so let's move on to the next version of rhythm changes. Apart from bar 8, the first 8 bars are exactly the same as the version we've just played. What happens in bar 8, instead of playing a D minor 7th, we're playing a D dominant 7th. The next change to keep your ear and your eye out for is down in the A2 section of the song in bar 14. Instead of moving from F to F minor as it does in A1, the chord progression is F to F sharp diminished. And this same variation occurs in the A3 section down in bar 30. Again, the chord movement is from F to F sharp diminished. Let's have a listen. Okay, on to another popular variation of rhythm changes. In the A1 section in bar 6, instead of the chord progression moving from F to F minor, as it did in our original progression, in this version it moves from F to B flat 7, and this same variation occurs in the A2 section in bar 14. And it also occurs one more time in the A3 section in bar 30. It's the same chord movement from F to B flat 7. Let's have a listen. Okay, let's do one more version for this session. This version features a lot of variations with added diminished chords, dominant sevenths with sharpened fifths, and so on. Now the important point is, when you're playing these shell voicings, in most of the instances you're not playing a fifth anyway. So the fact that it says A7 sharp 5, you'll still treat it as an A7th chord. And of course this leaves a lot of room for the soloist to stretch out, and also it leaves a lot of room for the bass player and the other accompaniment instruments. For example, if you're playing with a piano player, this gives them a lot of room to add in extensions and so on. Okay, let's have a listen and good luck with it. Okay, that's it for this session, folks. I do hope you've got something out of it. Remember, all these things that we're working on at the moment is setting the groundwork for future studies. We'll be returning to our major 6 diminished scale and all those diminished arpeggios and so on. They'll all be making a comeback, and we'll be tying it in with the work we're doing right now with these rhythm changes. If you've enjoyed this lesson and want to see more, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out and ensures you don't miss out on any future lessons. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to pop them in the comments section below this video. And as always, I look forward to catching up with you again next time. Bye for now.